Okay. Hello. Good day, internet. Good afternoon. Or good evening. Hello, it is I, Anime Master here, again with another live stream. My today's title is Come Chat With Me, Part 6. 6. You get one. But anyway, welcome. Welcome to my live stream. Today I'm just going to do a chill one, where we're just going to have a chat. We can, talk together. And first things first, I want to start off with is what is happening to the Pragmata universe or the community. If any of you have seen it, there's been a lot of controversy going on, and you got one side, a lot of people that loves it, and you got a minority of people that just says a lot of weird, heinous hate about it, and they're painting some weird pictures and basically they're just creating a very weird narrative of people that plays the game. Apparently, they are all CP. Yes, so I don't know why, which is very very weird. Because if you ask me, I just feel like it's the total opposite. It's not like that. And anyone with brain cell, or at least common sense, they can tell that that is not the case. That is not what is happening. But unfortunately, you always get weird people on the internet. There's nothing else you can really do about it, or you can really change the situation of it. It's always going to be. I feel that's always going to happen, isn't it? Where the people just will spin a certain form of narrative about a situation that they're not aware of, or they want to paint a picture to make themselves look more virtuous than other people, making them the moral standard for the world or whatever. But it's a sad situation because not only do they make themselves look very ignorant, they've also become I don't know what would be the best way to say it. It's just that it makes them look very ignorant and silly. Because if you using a moral standpoint of a moral ground, you've got them to at least one. You've got to be able to walk the walk if you talk the talk. And you also have to do a certain amount of research about the topic that you are referring to. So, yeah, it's just very, very weird. Well, I saw a lot of different streamers, giving um, influencers, YouTubers, and all that, giving their take about Pragmata, the situation. I saw one, Hassan. Now, I don't know much about Hassan. I've only recently heard more about him through Asmongold's video clips. They both love to talk about each other. And the only thing I know about Hassan is that he loves to do a lot of political um, streams, or I don't know. I don't know what exactly he does, but anyway, he talks a lot about politics. And when I saw the clip of him talking about Pragmata, what he raised in that video, I find it very, very strange. Because he is. What's the word? So I'm just trying to turn my brain on after working. It's not working very well. Yes, that's okay. I can think of one word: stigmatizing what gamers are, and assuming all gamers are men. Now, obviously, majority of the gamers in the community and the world possibly are men, mostly, but there are female gamers out there as well. May not outratio the men, but there are females in there. But I remember he said one quote where he said that the game if no, if you talk about a certain topic, it should be something that you're about or you are related to it or whatever it is, right? He was trying. It makes a logical fallacy to it because one, let's say for instance, we don't talk about pragmata. We talk about the let's say his general point of view is politics. He loves to talk about politics. And his point of view is saying that you should only talk about certain things you talk about as long as you are related to it or something. This is related to you, and that's it. He said that gamers, mainly he was talking about men in general, is that they shouldn't talk about having a family if they don't have a family themselves because it's not related to them. And if they talk about the flavor or the recipe for Mountain Dew was changed, then they have the right to talk about it because it relates to their life or something, or that it's somehow is connected to their life, or however it is that he's trying to portray it. But the logical fallacy to it is that, let's say, in terms of politics, and in terms of his logic, what he's trying to say about it has to be related to him. My point of view is that how far are we taking the relatability to with regarding to you have the right to talk about it. So, for instance, politics, which he is very, very passionate about. Do you have to be in you have to work in the government? You know the ins and outs of the government. You know the government law. You know the politics. You study politics. You have or you study law, which makes you very knowledgeable about the political situation in terms of using the law in regards to retrospects of countries to countries relationship and how they interact with each other, so on and so forth? Or is it just that you just love to talk about it, that's enough to be relatable? So there's the logical fallacy because he didn't really explain about how you are related to it or how does it really connect to your life. It's like a very big open door situation. If he's saying, oh, if I talk about it, it is enough to be relatable to it. Well, the people that said that they want to, going back to Pragmata, that they want to have a family, they are talking about it. So it means that they are related to it. So they have the right to talk about it. But he's saying in his case of his logic is not, that doesn't work. So if you understand what I'm saying, it doesn't seem to make sense. Even though when I explain it, it makes no sense. Which is the point. It doesn't make any sense. And the other issue is that when he's talking about like gamers, that they should never talk about family and all that stuff, and they only should talk about eating Doritos and drinking Mountain Dew and being um, undesirable to women and all that stuff, and that they can't find a coitus relationship with the opposite sex and so on and so forth. Which again, seems like he was referring to men, like gamers are men only. Which is another thing where it's like, as he is a I like to, I'm assuming he's a gamer himself. He should know that the community also has female gamers as well. So he can't just be saying gamers in general if he's just targeting men only in his, overall speech. So I find that it's very, very weird where he seems to be making a general broad speech, but he's specifically targeting men. And him being a advocate for equality, he's not being very equal in what he's saying. He's only saying a very one-sided story, but he used some word salad to package it to make it sound like it's equality. But in reality, it isn't when you actually listen to what he's saying. And when you pick up apart his logic of what he's trying to say, it doesn't stand any ground. Now, whether or not he meant something else, well, he needs to explain that. He should actually make a proper explanation, not just say whatever he wants, and just leave it for open assumption, because assuming is what makes other people an ass. Because in any situation, if people are assuming, that means you don't have the correct information, and because you don't have the correct information, you make yourself look like an ass. I apologize for for my curses. I'm not meant. I don't like to curse, and I try to to keep as clean as possible. But you get what I mean. Right? So, like again, it's a logical fallacy in what he's trying to explain and what he's trying to say. And again, the pragmata situation, I just thought it's such a shame that this is happening when it was a very beautiful game. I haven't played it myself only because I don't have a PS5. And I don't plan to buy a PS5 anytime soon. But I have seen YouTube channels where they play the game and they show the cutscenes and all that stuff. So I've watched the entire gameplay and the cutscenes, and it was very, very beautiful. I love the idea of how you are. It was a farmer simulator, and it was a very, very beautiful story where it really makes you want to become a parent yourself. And both female and male have the same retrospect on the situation. One as a man, because it's a male character, main character as well, it really advocates that feeling inside of you to become a father, especially wanting to have a daughter as well, because this game only is a female child, or an android anyway. So obviously it makes you really want to have a daughter yourself. The next thing is that if you're a female, it makes you really want to protect the child as well, because even though you're playing as a male main character, you still have a connection to the character because you are drawn in by the story. And that's what makes the game good, is by the story is drawing you in. And yeah, it has beautiful story to it. It has beautiful cinematic parts to it, and little scenes that rebuilds the story and the connection between the characters, makes you really fall in love with the game even more. However, there are again people on the internet are unfortunately weird. Netizens, we all will say a lot of things that we don't really mean. We only say it only because we want to make it sound more righteous and virtuous than other people. And mainly it's because we see so many unjust. We believe ourselves as the knighthood or the shining knights that we to bring about the justice in the world, because we are the only one that's able to do so, and we want to make ourselves feel very important and virtuous. So it's understandable why people have this idea, but at the same time, we've got to exercise with caution, because again, if you are assuming in certain situations, you're only going to make a fool out of yourself. So yeah, it's just unfortunate. It's a very unfortunate situation. But the good news for Capcom, they are making a lot of money out of this game. So since so many people are loving the game and so many good PR from other streamers and so on and so forth, it's really boosted the sales and the advertisement for the game. So it's a win-win situation, regardless of the negative minorities that's saying that this game is CP and weird thing as well. Now, are there bad people and weird people out there that would, unfortunately have a CP tendency? Yes, there are, obviously. There's always a bad apple in every certain group, both male and female, and whatever political party or your belief or whatever, there's always a bad apple. Always. But does that mean the majority of them are rotten to the core? No. There are just some people, unfortunately, are misguided or are lunatics. And you can't mix those lunatics and misguided people with the same majority of the people that are, or I would say, normal. So, yeah, it's an unfortunate situation. But again, it's fortunate for the company since they are making money for it. So yeah, it's a strange one. And when I keep seeing all these news and all these things that's happening, it's just like, wow, how did it spiral down that quickly? and so far as well. But that's the internet for you. It really is. That is just the internet. That's how it goes, unfortunately. But at some point, there's going to be a new other news that's going to replace this one, and everyone's going to be chasing that kind of news and being rage baited or sharing rage or trying to rage other people and so on and so forth. So it's an endless cycle of people wanting to gain the utmost attention as much as possible through any means necessary. But yeah. Well, on another note, I've been watching another anime. Now, my attention span is getting really bad. So I've been jumping from one anime to another. I can't really seem to sit still to watch the complete entire series of anime at the moment. And the one I'm watching right now, and just double check the name, the movie's called Outcast Restaurant or something. Like, I'm really into food anime. No, not Food Wars, because Food Wars I feel like that's a bit too much, if you all know what it's about. There's too much of a fan service. I'm not a big fan of that. But the one I'm watching is called Welcome to the Outcast Restaurant. So that is, it's okay. I have to say, it's okay. These story's okay, food is okay, animation wise is okay as well. I'm not saying it's the best out there or something I would definitely recommend to watch. It's an okay anime. The plot is there's a few plot holes to it. There's few a few plot holes with the situation and all that stuff. Although they somehow no, I wouldn't say clarify. So they don't really clarify the situation, but there are a few plot holes I do believe that it seems to be not fleshed out very well. But again, I haven't finished the entire series just yet, so I can't really give my full verdict. But what I've seen so far, the plot holes is not a big thing, but it is, it can affect the flow of the story if it's not addressed properly. But otherwise, it's the story itself. I get it. I get what they're trying to do. I get what it's about. But again, it's just like, it's, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being very, depressing old man. Nothing seems to bring me joy anymore. So probably that's possibly why I don't really enjoy the anime as much as I really want to. I think it's the British in me is making me very miserable. A miserable old British man. Anyway. But yeah, if you want to watch it, I would say go ahead with your own volition. I would say watch it, but it's not something you have to watch. What just happened? Let's go on notification. Oh, Gilbertson, thank you for following me on Kick. Thank you for following me, Gilbertson. I appreciate your follow. Thank you very much. I know you can't really see the expression, but I am actually happy. I'm not great at expressing my feelings, but I would like to say that I appreciate your follow. I do appreciate you taking the time to watch me. So thank you. Thank you very much. What was I trying to say? Yeah, the anime podcast restaurant. It's alright. Is it? Yeah, I haven't finished it, but I'll say so far it's alright. Although I did see one trailer, I thought, oh, it sparks my interest, but not too, but don't know about it just yet. It's basically Cinderella story, but except that the stepmother and stepsisters actually dote the Cinderella character. Now, I don't know what period is it set in, but actually, I should say what country it's set in. Because the stepmother and stepsister obviously wears Western clothes, but the Cinderella character in this anime is wearing traditional Japanese clothing. It looks like she is either in the Edo period or in the World War II period. Now, the reason why I say that is because they were going through famine. Now, famine is very normal to happen, but the way they portray the famine, it's hard to tell whether or not which one is in the Edo period or is it in World War II period, because they seem to have some form of technology where it's quite a more advanced than Edo period, like period time. But the way that they are situated in makes you, well, kind of like implying that they are in ancient history time. So yeah, I don't know where exactly these characters are set in or where they are. I don't know how the characters transported to where the Cinderella characters, the stepmother and the stepsister are. Supposedly they're evil. So I don't know if it's Isekai's story of a Japanese woman transported into a Western world all of a sudden through unknown reasons, and then she's been heavily doted on by her stepmother and stepsisters. Now it seems interesting, but it's a situation where it feels like the first episode will hook you on, but later on it feels hard to carry on watching it because it feels like, well, how far can you push that trope? Because in the first episode you would assume and like to think that all the misunderstandings of that the stepmother and sisters are evil would be clarified in one episode because the way how they dote on her. Because normal thinking wise you would think like if they're doting on me, that means they like me, not hate me. But if she is completely oblivious to it and carry on believing that they're evil, well, you can only push it so far. If it's pushed it for 12 episodes, it feels like, okay, that's taking a bit too far. But this person is literally stupid, I would say. Like, are they living, are their brains turned off? Like, or what happened? Why is he not realizing, or how she not picked it up? Because it feels like she's purposely being oblivious to it and not willing to um, see for a fact that they do care for her. So that's my only concern about the story, where the stepsisters and the stepmother will show all these love and show how much they care for the Cinderella like character, Japanese like character, and then the Japanese will be like, oh my god, they like me so much, they're willing to bathe me, give me new clothes, and they always dress me up, feed me with lots of good food, but I don't know if they really do actually love me or not. And you're like, come on, you can't be that oblivious to it. You can't be that stupid as well. No matter what period time you are from, you're not that stupid. And I get it that people always have this sort of like unbiased set of mentality believing that people in ancient time are really, really stupid. And they are like very unintelligent, which is very not true, because if you think about when you do the studies in history wise, you would realize that people in the past were very, very smart. Now, education wise, maybe not, because the majority of them don't get the luxury of having the education that they really want and have, like we do in our current period and in our current times. But back in those days, they were living, they have to survive, because if they don't make a living, they will die on the spot. So obviously they have to make each day, um, they have to maximize each day they are living through. So they're not, they didn't switch their brain off. Their brain is more, I would like to say, more active than we are, because we now have all these technologies and everything, and we're feeding our brain with so much things that we literally more very instantly and very casually turns off our own subconscious mind without realizing that when we're just scrolling through a phone, we're just endlessly going through videos and videos and videos, trying to hit that dopamine in our mind to make ourselves feel the rush and alive at the same time, where the time just literally passes without us realizing. So again, back in those days, people aren't stupid, but unfortunately, we like to have this an unbiased, I should put that in quotes, unbiased and unilaterally um, belief that ancient people are stupid. So it's just, it's another illogical fallacy, because if that doesn't make sense. If they were stupid, we wouldn't have today's century of mankind. Because if they were all stupid, they would have made a lot of silly choices and mistakes where it would have ended humanity for a very, very long time. If any of you seen the movie Idiocracy, it will be like that, because people in the movie, whilst it was a comedy movie, I feel like we're getting closer to that situation now. But anyway, spoiler alert for the people that have never seen Idiocracy, the movie. It's about it's a comedy movie. It's set in sort of like a current period drama back in the early 2000s, where scientists has made a prediction people's intelligence are decreasing, are going, just steeping down. So the only way to preserve intelligence in humankind, they have to preserve certain people, and they will be put into sort of a cryogenesis stasis, so they can be magically, well, it's like magically transported, but more like they just froze them, so that when the time is up, they will wake up in the future, and they can save mankind, because, well, they are deemed as intelligent people, and their intelligence will lead the stupid mankind into a brighter future. And as they go into the future, they wake up, all the people that's living in the current era are basically idiots. Hence why it's called idiocracy. Now, the main problem is that I don't think, if I remember correctly, I don't think they've actually addressed it. But their population, I do believe they were decreasing. They weren't expanding. They were decreasing. Because, well, one, they can't sustain themselves, because they use mountain dew to fertilize and water the plants. Obviously, the plants needs water, not mountain dew, where it has chemicals in it. That's killing the plants. They're not growing anything using fizzy drinks. And they also done a lot of things that were literally just not sustaining themselves for many, many years. So, same way as going back to what you're saying about ancient people are not stupid, is that they're not so blinded or gullible that they aren't able to sustain themselves. They can sustain themselves very well as well, because they have to. They have no choice. So sustainability for them was a must. They have to do a lot of things in order for them to survive each day. So they make the most of it for every day they live in. Now, obviously, they don't have the technology that we have that help to prolong their lifespan, their average lifespan. But nonetheless, they were able to preserve a society, a culture, a actual community as well, and the race as well. I don't think we've ever experienced any race that has gone extinct. But human races have not, as far as I remember. I don't think so. If we do, please let me know. But nonetheless, I don't think there's any human race that's actually gone extinct, particularly because they couldn't sustain themselves. They literally destroyed themselves completely. But if you're talking about empires, though, empires have been, come and gone. But the people itself still carries on living. So again, we have sustained ourselves. The people back in the ancient time, again, I try to say that they're not stupid. They are very much very clever, very bright, extremely bright as well in their time. And if they were to have our technology, if those people had our technology and the resources that we have, I would believe that they probably would excel more than we currently are. Well, that's just my opinion, because there's a possibility maybe not. But nonetheless, I want to highlight and point out that ancient people are stupid. But we do have this uh, unfortunate viewpoint and standpoint about them that we just do believe that they are what less intelligent than us. I mean, you can argue about certain ways of intelligence that they are lacking in, but that's only like information that we have right now, and technology as well, so on and so forth. But in terms of like living like you say, where if they were just to do their 9 to 5 or their day-to-day lifestyle, I think there's no difference to us as well. That's I'm just saying. It's just yeah. yeah. But anyway, let's try and talk about. So yes, the anime also reminded me about. I think it was called My Doting Evil Stepmother and Sister, or My Stepmother Stepsisters Actually Love Me or Don't Me on Me, or something like that. But anyway, yeah, I'm hoping the anime could be good. This is only a trailer release, so obviously they don't show the entirety of it, of the story's about. So I'm hoping for good news. That it would be an entertaining one. It's not going to be a bad one. Trailer of animes. Who's seen the trailer for My Hero Academia? The new one. They are, I think it's called Forever or More. The latest season. I think they're just basically set in the future. Is it 18 years later, where all the main characters or the people that was in class 1A have now graduated, have become adults, and what their adult life is like. Now, I feel like this is going to be similar to the anime Assassination Classroom, where they just show the because after the anime, there's a movie, and they just show the two main characters reminiscing about the past. They talk about the current situation of each of their classmates, of what's happening to them. So doing like a mix of, do you remember, who, blah, 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 blah. I've come up with the character's name. Let's say, do you remember Watanabe-kun? Do you remember what was he like back then? And look what happened to him now. Like, that's what the entire movie was like. Reminiscing the past. After talking about the past, then they talk about, look what he's doing right now. And there's a show like a very short animation clip of what the character is doing. Now, I don't know what this movie is going to. It's a new series. I can't remember. But I don't know what this one's going to entail of. It's going to do the similar style where they're going to talk about each of the characters, what their past was like, and then they show a short like clip of them currently. Because that's my general thought of that's what they're going to do. But I like to be surprised, and I hope they will be surprised and they will do more of that, and they will give you like more like their current situation rather than doing a recap of who they were and how they got to where they are now. Because I like to assume that people that's watching it are already a long-term fan and already know the story, so they don't need a recap, a new series of the anime. Will just basically a recap of this entire arc, and then just a short clip of what they're doing right now. But yeah, I've seen that, and yeah, well, let's just hope it'll be fun for the current MHA fans. There's something else I want to talk about. I can't remember. There's a reason why I should have written things down. I mean, I've been talking about how I've been doing so well with my current filming because I'm now and I write scripts. So it becomes when the script becomes like a mental note, or not forget mental note, written note of how to film the video that I prepared for myself and plan and so on and so forth. But there are times where I feel I have in my head, I will remember. And when the time comes, I'm like, yeah, my memory doesn't really hold very well, and I shouldn't have believed that my memory would definitely guide me and help me this far. I have become arrogant and ignorant at the same time of my own shortcomings. But yeah, it's just, yeah, I have a few ideas of what I want to talk about. But now, obviously, my mental note inside my brain has disappeared and has disintegrated, leaving me just a husk of a human being just trying to stall for time and yap to you on the internet before you find out I am trying to stall for time. Obviously, I have confessed, but it doesn't matter anyway. Still trying to stall for time. Have you ever feel like the quietness really brings peace to you? I know it's a big jump from pragmata, anime, and all of a sudden peace and quiet. But I want to say that I've really been learning about how to help me bring myself to peace, if that makes sense. I didn't really word it very well. But the one thing that I've been struggling with for a very long time is stress. Ever since becoming an adult and joining the workforce, labours and all that stuff, I don't mean the Labour Party, I mean like actual workforce labour. That's what I meant. It's become very, very difficult in life. Especially when stress just keeps on piling and piling up on your body, below your mind, the mentality, the psyche, the soul. It becomes very hard to find a central point where you can find peace. And I recently uploaded a video talking about it's very important to learn to breathe when you're having a stressful moment. And I really seem to, I really now want to advocate this fully, that we should really learn to breathe. And I know it sounds very silly when we say it out loud. Learn to breathe. What do you mean by learn to breathe? I always breathe. I breathe naturally, just like even right now. Like that. I'm breathing. What do you mean? What I mean is that you are purposely just breathing in and holding it for a moment, just maybe like a split second or just two, and then exhaling it out. And out. And you're doing it slowly as well, consciously slowly, doing breathing exercise. Now, I don't know if you are following me while I was doing the breathing exercise. Just that right there really helped me. It really calmed me down. I felt immense serenity in me and just letting go. I don't know what it is, but I believe there is a science to it. But I'm lazy to look for it. However, I do believe doing this breathing exercise where you purposely, consciously, slowly breathing in and then back out. Slowly as well. It brings sort of calmness in your heart. It feels like the weight is lifted from your body, especially from your heart. And it feels like your heart can just melt away and feel free from the constraint that you have put on yourself. But yeah, I definitely do say, if you ever feel like you can't handle or feel very, very stressful, try to relax and just slowly breathe in and breathe out. You breathe through your nose, breathe through. I have hay fever, so I don't really breathe through my nose very well. Yeah, it's it really does bring a new kind of calmness and stillness as well. Oh, I hope that helped you to stay calm. It helped you to feel relaxed. I know in these trying times, in these stressful moments, we definitely do need some calmness and this in our life. So to ease ourselves from the ongoing stressfulness which is called life. Having that serenity sure feels like it's a luxury, but it shouldn't. It shouldn't be costing you whatsoever. So if you are going through a very, very tough time, stressful time as well, just close and just take a very, very deep breath. Slowly, just slowly breathe out. Breathe out. That really helps me, to be honest. I don't know why I feel this sort of numbness in my head and my face. It feels very weird. Not like a paralytic stutter or hey, I'm having a stroke or anything like that. But it's like a numbness, calm. Like you feel the blood just slowly just rushing from from the circulating to the place that it should be circulating. It feels like when you're stressed and high alert, or you feel like your blood vessels are stopped or concentrated in certain areas, and it doesn't seem to be moving. It feels like it's just concentrated and dumped on that area, especially on the heart. It feels very, very painful. It feels like there's something straining it as well. But after just breathing like that, not only the weight from the chest just been lifted, you really feel the blood is flowing more around your body rather than just in certain areas and drain there as well. yeah, when you allow yourself to purposely breathe as well, a different kind of peace. As I need peace. I think this is a good time. Before I end it, I'll do something different. Just say, hey, goodbye. I want to just give rid of the fact that we just have this moment where we could just be in peace, in serenity with ourselves. My goodness, I'm stumbling with words. I'm fumbling as much right now. Serenity. I want to read a Bible verse to you, but I want to find one way. Because I can't remember something before now. So I do apologize because it seems like you don't know what I'm doing, but I'm trying to find a specific verse that I was looking for. Let's see. Okay, there we go. I think I found two verses I was looking for. So the first one is Matthew chapter 6, verse 34. It says, "Therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own." The next one is Isaiah chapter 41, verse 10, which says, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." The last one, Philippians chapter 4, verse 13, which says, "I can do all things through him who strengthens me." Now, I'd say it's been trying times, difficult times in life. And even for myself as a Christian, there are times where I fall short on myself. I also fall short in my own faith. So I want to use this opportunity, moment where I want to share with you that whilst we all fall short, we all feel weak, we are not alone. And there is a true God in heaven who is willing to actually support us, willing to love us, and willing to die for us. And the reason we have strength to continue is because through Him who's able to give us strength. Now, this is not a calling or a come to Jesus moment. There's more fact that it's a reminder for myself. Not only just share it with you, but also to remind myself as well that there is someone looking out for us, and we don't have to do it alone. So I hope these verses, these verses will bring you courage, will bring you strength, will bring you strength, and will help you as well. So thank you all for joining me today. And I hope to see you all next week, Monday. Hopefully I could get to hopefully I get to start early well as I did today in my stream. It feels wonderful to stream in the time that I planned the time. See you all next week, Internet. There's Anime Mars Guy. See you all next week.